y'all see, I got my black. I got my black headband. If I could think of a gospel song right now that would be fitting, I would sing it. But I can't think of one right now. Um, this is the final episode. Well, I don't know if it's the final, wink wink, episode of Greenleaf, but this is as far as the series is concerned. We'll talk about all that later, but child, this is the final, the season series finale of. I don't even know if I can do, in order. My usual. We'll just have to go blow by blow, play by play. So the episode basically starts off May laying in bed with Bishop. Bishop is dead. Bishop had a stroke. He's now dead. She had already called the ambulance and everything. And she's just, have to go be the one to tell everyone, right? So we switch over to Grace. Grace is talking to Sophia. Now remember last week, Sophia, which we knew, child, we knew that, Lazora was just playing Sophia to the left, and Sophia played right into it, and she's basically like, look, Ma, I don't want to go back to Hampton anymore. Okay, like I can't do this. And so I'm like, well, I don't know. Y'all tell me, would you, for something like this, would you want to switch schools? I don't know. I mean, because it's not cheap, okay, to be switching, right? Unless you got money like that. And I'm sure they got the money to do it, but it's like, like, girl, you're not even going to see these people forever. And it's a whole school, like, girl, you'll be all right. Okay, so, but Grace, she gets a phone call from this lady from 2020. They apparently liked, the work that she did as far as the H&H situation, and they want her, to come for a job interview for a job in New York, right? So she's on the phone with this lady, and then we see Lady Mary, and I'm like, oh no. And she's like slowly walking up to, Grace. I'm like, oh shoot. She gotta tell her. And then, you know, Grace sees her and she sees how pale she looks. And she tells the lady on the phone, like, I'll call you back, okay? So at this point, everybody in the whole family knows Bishop is dead. They're all laying in the bed with him now, no lie. Uh, uh, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't be laying in no bed with no dead person. Like, that was a little weird. I'm like, I mean, somebody dead, they ain't gonna do nothing. They're dead, they ain't gonna do nothing to you, but still, like, man, I ain't gonna be laying in no bed with a dead person. Like, come on, what y'all think this is? But, child, they in the bed, they all crying. And then we switch over to Charity singing. And, we officially, it's official, Bishop is officially dead. Because I'm sitting there thinking, okay, they going to give us the same thing they gave us last time. Dude had a heart attack. Then everybody was wearing black, right? Y'all remember that? And then all of a sudden Bishop come around and I'm like, ooh, y'all like, ooh, y'all tried us with that shit right there. But no, they showed the casket and everything. I was like, damn. Like, shit, man. So after the funeral, everybody, sitting at the table, everybody's reminiscing. Of course, usually who's sitting at the head of the table? Bishop. He's not there anymore. So everybody's just, Grace talking about, you know, how Bishop told her, everything you do, make sure you put your heart into it, all they go, oh. Ooh, okay. Sorry, I had to crack my back. um, and you know what else? Ooh, that made me lose my train of thought. um, then what's the Marisol comes up and she's like, May, somebody, there's a phone call and all that. And so Jacob was like, Mom, you need anything? She was like, no, y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. She goes on the phone and she talks to the lady from the church. That's Corinne's grandmother. And they're like, and she's like, basically, H&H people are gone. Phil, all of them gone. So we don't have anybody to lead service, right? So they're like, it would be perfect if, and only fitting that you come and lead service, basically. And Lady May agreed. She's like, okay, fine, let's do it. Um, let's see, yeah. So, I mean, it's really not much. It's a lot that went on this episode, but really all this was just to kind of wrap things up as much as possible until the next time. Now, we did get a scene with, I can't remember. Like I said, it's not going to be in order, but we did get a scene where Grace, Noah, and AJ, they're at the new place that AJ and Noah are going to be staying at. Now, Noah did offer Grace a place to stay because you remember they're going to give up their house, right? Well, she was like, no, that's fine. Still, because throughout the episode, Grace keeps getting these phone calls from that same lady, right? And so she's like, well, my family needs me, but at the same time, like, I want to go. Like, we know she wants to go. But it's like, especially now since the bishop is gone, this is a time where everybody needs each other. So, I feel like the news would have been better if Bishop hadn't died. But since he has, it's kind of, a little tough right now. But, AJ was on the phone while Noah and Grace were talking. AJ was on the phone with the doctor. Doctor said that, his HIV is improving. With the medicine that he's taking. AJ, we can see that he's much lighter, that, he's starting to open up. Like, we even got where, Grace and AJ, they were going to the car and, you know, she was on the phone with Darius or whatever, and he was like, you do know I'm gonna have to meet him to see if he's right for you. And I'm like, AJ, bro, that man already been in this girl's guts. What are you talking about? But, he's like, that's my mama and all that other stuff. I'm like, oh, you finally claiming her. Oh. I don't want to see AJ no fucking quiet. Whatever, yo, whatever. But, yeah, so we see that. While we're on AJ, go ahead and get this out the way. When you get a scene with AJ, Sophia, and Zora, where they're talking about what they think, death is, like what happens. And Zora was like, well, I think it's when, you like jump off a cliff or something and you're falling and falling and falling and you're screaming now because you realize, you didn't realize how deep this was. And then finally you see a white light and then you see everybody that has passed on and they give you a hug and you're happy forever. I feel like that's everybody's perception of death. We really don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think, like, what if death, and y'all put down in the comments what y'all think. What if what you perceive happens, when you die, is what actually happens, like based on what you think it is, because or what you believe, how death is and how, like, what happens, it only way we know is until we do it. But it's just, you always wonder, like, when we die, do we meet those who have already passed on, or are we reborn? Are we, living our life through somebody else, reincarnated? Are we, an animal or anything really? It's just, all perception. But at some point AJ was like, well, I'm worried about, the living. Child, anyway. Girl, AJ, I don't want to see him in no goddamn choir, bro. Chill out. So we get this scene with Jacob and Carissa. Child, the little boy Winky, they put him to bed, which I'm like, well, I don't understand, like, because he wasn't even at the funeral, which I feel like he should have been there. He was old enough to understand. Like, I feel like, yeah, he's young, but he's not, like, 2, He's not 2 years old. They sit there having to explain to him, like, take him to a therapist or whatever and explain what divorce is. Like, he ain't 2. He ain't, like, I don't think it'd be that hard to tell him, and same thing because Carissa was like, he doesn't understand the concept of, grandpa's dead and he ain't come, he's gone and he ain't coming back, right? And it's like, but I feel like when you treat it as, oh, well, he doesn't understand, that he's not gonna understand unless you are upfront and honest. I'm not saying granddad's dead. No, just tell him, okay, he's gone. He's not coming back. Maybe one day we'll see him again, but, he's in heaven with Jesus and all of them and stuff like that. But, I don't know. I just feel like don't make it complicated. Like, don't do that. And I feel like they do that with Zora too. Like, and I know she picks up on it, which is why a lot of times she gets annoyed with them, because it's like, I'm an adult now. I'm not a baby. I'm not a child. You can tell me y'all divorcing without having to be like, let's sit down, let's talk. No, just tell me. Anyway, but I think in that moment, because Carissa was like, this is our happy ending, and Jacob kind of wanted Carissa to stay, not in a, oh, let's get back together stay, but in a, I need you in this moment. Like, I need somebody right now, somebody to cry on, and I feel like we all need that right now. And she was like, no, I don't want to confuse anything, so she ended up, she said she was going to stay at her school or whatever. I'm like, you going to stay at school? You got to, no, you going to sleep on a desk? No, ma'am. But, yeah, so I think that was, like, probably the last we saw of Carissa, What else? What else is there that happened before we get to the main, shit that happened? So, like I said, throughout the episode, Lady May is trying to figure out what it is she's going to speak on at, the service. And, she talks to Jacob. Oh, you know what? Let me back up. Okay. So, at one point, Jacob did go to Tara, okay? Which, bro, I ship them. Okay, I ship. Okay, because Tara, she's doing what Jacob originally. Because y'all remember the first season, he wasn't always about mega church, all of that. He wasn't all about that. He was like, I want to speak with the homeless and people who truly need it, and they was like, nah, girl, no. Right? And so, she goes and he asks her, hey, with all this going on, can we have like 3 months to get her stuff together? And she was like, she said, listen, let's just call it even. And he was like, what? And then Tara was like, yeah, let's just call it even. Not saying that, because I think at one point, she was feeling that, after what was going on, that now all of a sudden Bishop has a stroke and now he's dead. She probably feels like it's her fault. I'm like, no, it's not your fault. Dude was knocking. He was knocking on death's door anyway. He was knocking, okay? It was just his time. So, don't put that on you. But she was like, let's just call it even. I don't want to put you, I know what that feels like. I don't want you to put put you through any of that. And in that moment, Jacob saw. Y'all see how dark it's gotten. It is at the rain, bro. Um, and it's getting dark outside anyway. So, yeah. But then she was like, I just, you guys can go ahead, keep the house. It's done. Like, I'm not about to rip y'all from your house, especially with y'all going through this. Like, no, y'all don't need nothing else on you. It just wouldn't be right. So in that moment, he saw the type of woman she is, and just so ooh wee, Tasha Skate gonna be bad. She gonna be mad. Anyway, so then at one point Jacob goes and tells May about it, and she's just ecstatic, like something is off of her now. Like, whew, good. So the next thing that happened, Calvary, everybody's coming back to Calvary. They have the huge. Oh, I keep forgetting. Okay, so um, before all that, we get a scene where May is in Bishop's office, and she's just, reminiscing and all of that. Just like when she was walking around with Corinne, she was talking about, I'm sorry, about Bishop. She's like, just don't bring him up, because if you do, I'm gonna start crying. And she just sat in his office. They put everything back where it was, and she's just you know mourning basically. So when it came to the service, everybody's there. Charity, she did her song and all that good stuff. Um, they had the whole projector screen of the pictures of Bishop and the whole Greenleaf family. Everything is really bittersweet right now. Like, everybody's happy that, everybody's back at Calvary. It's not being knocked down or anything. But it's bitter because Bishop is dead, especially after what just happened. So, Lady May, she gets up there and, she did her whole impersonation of Bishop. She's like, May, because, Bishop had that whole deep-ass voice. Okay, bro. How about Keith David? His Instagram name is Silver Throat. His Instagram is Silver Throat. So, look. So she did her whole imitation of Bishop, and she was basically like, you know, preaching about wanting something new. And when I tell y'all, when I tell y'all, this show right here is getting really dark. Like, gosh, I need to turn my light on. Y'all, it's got like real dark up in the air. It's gonna be black in a room. Like, bro. But it's just in that moment. Like, I don't know. I just been emotional, I feel. Just reflecting on my life, and just literally anything right now is just making me cry and all that. And that whole thing right there is just, give me something new. Let's just move forward. Let's, do something different in life. And it touched me. Like, I was just sitting there just crying, like, bro. And then AJ, man, AJ gets up because she was like, the doors at the church are open, so people coming up to get baptized and all that. And it's like, to see all that AJ has gone through, and that he's finally like, okay, I understand. Like, when you're at that place where you're like, you know where's God? And you realize that he just been there. He's always been there. You gotta feel it. You gotta know it. And to allow him to just come into your life like that. And, the whole family was surrounding him. He crying, everybody's crying, and it's like, oh. And then in that moment, Sophia was talking to, was like, Mom, telling Grace, your work here is done. And in that, I was just bawling, like, ugh, I was giving y'all the ugly cry. It was ugly, man. Because it's like, Oh my gosh. All that they've been through, but we'll get to that. So, hey. We're back. It's I turned my light on cuz I was even looking at my videos. I'm like, it got dark as hell. But anyway, so yeah, and then after Sophia was like, your work here is done, I was like, uh this heart was heavy. Like, I mean, my heart has never been that heavy. Like, it was, oh my gosh. And then we get a scene where, Lady May, after service, she's in Bishop's office, and, Grace comes in, and she's like, everybody's wanting you, okay? So basically, you got your church back, you know? And Lady May's like, yeah, but, again, everybody's still mourning over Bishop and everything. Then Grace, she was like, she knows that Grace had something to say. She was like, what is it? And then she's like, Mama, I gotta leave. It's time for me to leave. And so May was like, no, we can't do this. No, I need you here. And she was like, no, it's time for me to go. Like, you don't need me here. It's your time. Okay? It's your time to shine. This is your moment. This is your moment. Okay? And so, she was like, okay. So then, later on, because it's like, when you think about, when you just take a minute to think about how, like, when this show first started, right? Grace comes in, she comes in it. It shows so perfect. The first episode started with a funeral, right? And then the last episode ends with a funeral. Like, damn, man. Just parallel. You think about, the things they've been through, and it's like, in the beginning, like, Grace and May was at it. Like, they was boom, boom, can't stand each other. I hate you. Like, it was to the point when, y'all remember when Sophia left? And then May was like, I hope you understand what it feels like to lose a child. I was like, damn. Like, she was vicious, right? And it wasn't until what happened with Lionel and all that. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that too. With Lionel and all that, where Bishop's like, now your dirt is out there. Whatever transgressions you got against Grace, let it go. Just let it go. She ain't asked for none of this, right? And so that's when things started to get better between them. But whoo, they were whoa-y. They were bad. It was terrible. And she's like, you know how she was always somebody, you came here to ruin this family. Like, that's how May was. And now for her to just be like, I need you here. And it's like, no, it's time for me to go. And, for it to just be like, wow, like, Grace really she came here for a funeral, right, of her sister. And she ended up staying because she had some work to do. It was a lot of corruption that was going on, and the fact that she stayed to just dig up all of that, uproot everything, so her family can be on the right track. And here they are. Like, she did that. She did that. And, even though we lost Bishop along the way, still, like, and it's just now about family and united front and unity. So we did get there's two scenes that we got. The first one was before Grace made the decision to, leave to go to New York. Darius was like, I will accompany you. I'm not following you, but I'm going to accompany you. Which I'm like, sir, what is that supposed to mean? Bro, shut up. But I'm like, look at you sitting there, because Grace was like, no, my family needs me. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, go to New York. Bro, shut up. Look at you over here. You gonna marry me? Like, man. But of course, not to mention, y'all notice how it was like, oh, we love what you did with the whole H&H. It was like, it was her, it was Darius, it was, but it was like, no, girl, we want you. So yeah, he's like, I'm gonna accompany you so I can go up there and be like, bro, where's my check? Okay, hold up, wait a minute, wait a minute. So yeah, okay, so yeah, um, and then we get another scene where Grace is talking to Lionel, and because y'all remember when Lionel's dad died, which was so trash, that man died and then left all of that money he had, left it to Grace. I'm like, all because Aaron was gay and shit. I'm like, you are, and you think you about to go to heaven with that? Okay. You thought you about to go to heaven. You gonna deny your whole son? Even in just, oh, you thought you burning. Okay, I'm going to say, you think he gonna burn? You burning, bruh. You thought you getting to heaven with that? Oh goodness. But yeah, he did, and all that other stuff. And Grace gave Aaron some of that money, and then the remainder of that she put in a trust fund for AJ and Sophia. So basically all that money is all for her, and she's like, who the to have that much money was a weight, and for it to be finally gone is enlightenment. So everybody's having a bit of a enlightenment moment. um but of course, um oh yeah, the reason why I was like shipping Jacob and them before the service happened, what's her name? Tara, whatever her name is, shows up and she looking all cute and stuff. I said, look at you. First of all, y'all be showing up in these short ass dresses. These high. Did y'all see them thigh high boots Grace had on? I'm like, what church is this? Y'all got a lot of nerve. Be coming in these pumps. But yeah, whatever. He in there with red pumps, clear pumps, them stripper pumps, okay? But yeah, so what else? But yeah, they was, doing a little flirting and stuff, and I'm like, look at this. And then at one point, Tara was, what she say? God is good to, Jacob, to Winky. And then Winky was like, all this, I was like, oh, look at him. Look, I can't wait for the love triangle between Tasha Skanks and Tara James and Jacob Greenleaf. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But yeah, I'm gonna love it. Y'all know it's coming. It's coming. There's gonna be a whole trio, because even Tara was like, hey, the three of us, we could start our own thing where we're helping the homeless, because I know that's your thing. That's what you like to do. And he's like, yeah, I'm down. Sure you are. He's about to be all they popping. So, yeah. But, of course, Grace, it's her time to go. She gets in the car. Again, parallel. When she shows up, she was in a car. And, if you remember, in the first episode, she was in the car. She had Sophia with her. And, the guy in the car was like, oh, you're Pastor Greenleaf, right? You remember that? Well, this time, she says her goodbyes to everybody. Sophia's staying. Um, she gets in the car. As she's riding out, the guy was like, oh, you're Pastor Greenleaf. And Grace was like, no, I'm just Grace Greenleaf. He's like, oh, is that who you're trying to be? She's like, I hope so. Like, so... like, wow. Just wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, I know a lot of people didn't really care for this. I mean, when it comes to the ending of a series, right? no one really likes the ending, even myself. There are a couple shows, Scandal, True Blood, Power, uh, yeah, uh, okay, Game of Thrones, where people be pissed. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you gotta wrap it up, basically. And the fact that it only had 8 episodes, you know, but they're gonna have the spinoff, right? So I don't know. I've heard two things. They said that the spinoff, we're either going to follow Grace in her when she's in New York, right? And then every now and again we'll get, little cameos from Lady May, Jacob, all of them. Or, and I kind of like this one better, we're gonna get um, Lady May and all of them, Jacob, well, I don't know about Carissa, but Jacob, Charity, all of them, and then every now and again we'll get some cameos from Grace, right? Which I kind of like that idea better. But those are what we're hearing for as far as like the spinoff that's happening. And so we'll definitely be looking out. Of course, we don't know when, it's going to come out. They said there was another show that's out right now, or on its way out. Has absolutely, it's called Delilah, which I'm going to check that out. If I like it, I'm definitely review it. Child, somebody said Delilah. Like, what's that? Child, Samson and Delilah. That's the one. Okay. All right. Church people, don't fry me if I get this wrong. Okay, so Samson and Delilah, right? So Samson had this really long hair, right? It was luscious, okay. He was, make sure it was combed, and because of his hair, it made him like really strong, right? And then, child, what happened? Uh, and then one day, oh, what was the people? The people, they were trying to fight him, right? And he was whooping their ass every single time. And they're like, what? So it's like, what is it? What is it we gonna do to, make him weak, right? And so, of course, guys like, bro, don't you cut their hair. You don't know how many bundles I done put up in there. Don't be doing all that. So, you know, Delilah, she's like, you know, I don't know what she was. She a prostitute? I don't know, but she was pretty, right? And Samson brought him in, and she, they was all in love and stuff. But really, Delilah was working for the people that was trying to fight this dude, and then basically, she was just trying to find out what makes him tick. And then finally, she realized it was his hair. Okay, and she cut all his hair off. They captured him. They put him in this little area where he was basically being tortured in front of everybody. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I got it. And then God was like, "Oh no, bitch, we gonna wreck shit." And so he put whatever little strength Samson had left, and Samson, tore down the building and everything, and everybody, Delilah and all them died. So yeah, I don't know if that's what that's about. I'm pretty sure it's something that's going to be similar to that, in a modern day. But yeah. But they said it has absolutely nothing to do with, Greenleaf. So yeah. But I'll be interested to see. That's why I said spin-off, all that stuff. So we'll definitely be on the lookout for that. But like I said, this whole thing, like, I was just emotionally wrecked. Just wrecked. Like, I enjoyed it. I really did. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, I feel like they wrapped it up nicely. Which I am leaning towards the second, what the spinoff is going to be, because, there are things which, in a way, I'm kind of a little annoyed that people are thinking that, the guy that died is the real AJ. And I'm like, this sounds kind of stupid, but that's what people are believing. And then, you have, what's the name? Um, Jacob's daughter. We ain't even gotten to that. Like she popped up. You like, is that mine? No, girl, that's a lie. Like they kind of left that kind of open. But yeah, and then we haven't seen Phil and Charity. It's just a lot of stuff that was just left unanswered, and I think we're gonna get those answers in the spinoff. So yeah, I'm kind of interested. I hope that it's gonna be, the family members of Greenleaf, and then Grace comes in every now and again, or both. I think it's weird that I don't know what's going on for them to be like, oh, well, we're going to go ahead and end the series and then have a whole new series. Like, this is the same shit that they're doing with Power. Like, they literally showed the trailer where Tasha gets arrested, all that, and now we're going to continue on with Tariq and all that stuff. I'm like, so why don't y'all just, whatever. Child, I try to be fancy as the Book of Ghosts. Girl. The continuation of Power. Thank you. Yeah, so so yeah, what else? Yeah, that's really much it. What happened with Greenleaf? I definitely enjoyed, watching with y'all. I think tomorrow, because I get off at work on at 4:30. Hopefully I get off at 4:30. Oh God. Child, they been sitting here working me to death, yo. Oh, I shouldn't be talking about death in this video. Oh, Bishop, no. But yeah, so I'll try to watch P-Valley tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't feel like it. I'll probably watch that tomorrow when I get off. And then we can just, go on from there. And then I'm off Friday. Ooh, I could watch it Friday. Or I'll just watch it Thursday and then record Friday and have it uploaded by Friday. But yeah, um, that was Greenleaf, y'all. I will see y'all, I guess, when Power comes. I'll definitely be reviewing that. P-Valley, all that other stuff. If there's any other videos you suggest, well, not videos, but TV shows suggest, all that, definitely let me know. I'll check it out. And I will see y'all then. Bye, y'all. Best now.
When asked what has playing the bishop meant to me, I think for years of my life, I always thought of acting as my ministry because I used to want to be a preacher. This opportunity has allowed me to live out a fantasy, as 'twere. I mean, every time I get to work, I believe that I'm living my dream, and truly, playing the bishop with such a wonderful cast, with such wonderful support, has been one of the great, great gifts of my career. I have dearly, dearly loved the bishop, and I will miss him.